West Ham will be hoping that our off-the-field issues involving Kurt Zouma will have no impact on our efforts to claim maximum points against Leicester City when we travel to the King Power Stadium on Sunday afternoon. West Ham currently occupy 4th spot in the Premier League table, whilst Leicester have slipped down to 12th place, 14 points behind David Moyes' men. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. I'm Anton, joined by Matt. It's our match day build-up, Leicester City. Matt, how you feeling, mate?
I'm not sure. Neither team. You know what? This is going to be. It's going to be a high-scoring game, or it's going to be a really boring draw. Maybe like a remnants of the Watford game, because neither team are in great form, great spirits. Both have got off-the-field issues. I'm sure it's a game that neither team really wants to play right now. But
yeah,
here we are.
Yep. No, I know, mate. I know. I mean, listen, we just had a brief word before we came on. You know, they've been knocked out of the FA Cup in the 4th round as holders of the competition. Courtesy of a disappointing 4-1 defeat against Nottingham Forest, and it wasn't a great loss for Leicester City, was it? Really, it wasn't a great day at the office for them.
I mean, no, I saw some of that game. I think they literally could have been like 6-0 down at half time.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, you know, having said that, since then they played Liverpool midweek. Yes, they lost, but I think it was a 2-0 loss. By all accounts, from a lot of Leicester fans, they seem to be a case of probably bad for them. A case they were happy that there was more sort of effort.
Yep.
You know, once upon a time, Moyes first come in, and that's what we all said. You know, the players just, there was no hunger, there was no fight, there was no drive or willingness to do anything. They weren't bothered about losing, and you want to see that as fans. You want to see that passion and effort, and the fact that they come away from a loss to Liverpool and they were happy that the team had put in effort, kind of shows you where they are right now. That, you know, that not forget that this is a team that's finished top 5 last 2 seasons. I mean, we go back 6-7 years. They won the Premier League and FA Cup. They were
Matt, hold your thoughts, because we haven't done it. We're going to go on and talk about Leicester. So let's go on and talk about Leicester City. First and foremost, I want to apologise to people if you can hear something in my voice. Unfortunately, Big Anton has come up with COVID. I'm doing all right. Just got a bit of a head cold. You know, just sounds a bit rough and tumble, but I'll be fine. So do not worry about that. But Leicester City have dropped down to 12th in the Premier League table, 8 places and 13 points worse off than at this stage of last season. slim hopes of top 4 push now is dead and buried. I mean, continue what you were saying about Leicester, mate.
As I said, that it's. I'm sure the pundits would say they've been due this sort of season. Like I said, what was it, 2015 or 2016? They won the title.
Yeah.
FA Cup last season, but their recruitment's not been great. It's really not. If you go back to that season they won the title, they spent a lot of money the year after and bought basically no one.
Yeah.
And even in recent times, they haven't spent. Leicester have always been a team that, a bit like what Moyes wants to do with us, buy young, hungry players and then essentially make a big turnover profit on them. But the last couple of seasons, I mean, they bought Jose Perez from Newcastle. Was it back 35 million?
Yeah.
The guy's done not a like. He's got average. I think he's probably scored an assist the same amount Bowen's done this season in like 3 seasons.
I think he done all right in his first season that he joined the club, but the thing is,
nothing.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to, as much as Leicester aren't performing well, we can't forget that, they've won the Premier League, they've won the FA Cup, and they've been there or thereabouts in the Premier League for quite consistent amount of times. They've sold their best players, they've reinvested their money back into players, and they've reinvested their money back into the training setup. So, they're not in danger of going down, but they're not in danger of qualifying for the top 4. Mathematically, they still could, but it would be ridiculous if they could get to that situation. But they are still consistently performing in the top half of the table. And they've had a couple of, in the last, how many seasons would you say? 6 or 7? This has probably been.
They have built upon, like you said, in the grander scheme of things, since that Premier League winning season, about £100 million. But this is what I said, they're a team that buys young, develops, shows off profit. And realistically, and I think I said this before, probably said this when we played at the start of the season, any team outside the quote-unquote Big Six, maybe even, I'd probably even now include in the Big Six Arsenal and Spurs in this, is that outside of the multi-billion-pound clubs, they've got one of the best setups in the game. Like, this way of buying players cheaply, selling them on big profit, case in point, Harry Maguire, has allowed them to buy £100 million trade facility so then they can develop their youth more. There's just, I don't know, there's a culmination of this season, key injuries, the Brendan Rodgers effect. I mean, he's a good manager, but he does have the sort of Mourinho curse on him.
Yeah.
He's never lasted longer than 3 years in any job. And this is essentially, has his time come at Leicester? It's not doom and gloom, but for a team that's been consistently up the top the last 6-7 years and has been getting that money from those European places, to be where they are this season with the injuries they've had and then the recruitment they brought in to replace those injuries, which went against what they normally do.
Yeah.
There is now questions being aimed at Brendan Rodgers. I said, like, Jose Perez was a gamble that, I mean, even 35, I don't think they would have got that money back on him. But they were unfortunate at the start of the season. They lost Fafana for most of the season, who's a young, hungry centre-back, a guy we was looking at, linked with at the time.
Yeah.
And his replacement, they went and bought Vestergaard. Now, for the context, Leicester played away, was it away game? Yeah, I think it was at Anfield in midweek. And they started Daniel Amati and Wilfred Ndidi as the centre-backs. It's 2 holding midfielders. Vestergaard was on the bench.
Yeah.
You pay £50 million for a centre-back and you're starting 2 holding midfielders over him. They brought in Bertrand as a really old guy, as a backup for a left-back for, I think it was James Justin, who was out injured at the time.
Yeah.
Justin's now back. Bertrand's now out for the season. The board only wanted to give him a year because of his age. Rodgers wanted to give him 2. Probably Bertrand wanted 2. That's now not worked out. It's a culmination of things. There's been, I wish I'd written the quote down. One of the players even questioning Rodgers' tactics at times recently this season, because I know Leicester, off the top of my head, is a team that's, free-flowing attacking football. But there's been vast amounts this season where Rodgers has tried to do a Moyes and sit back and soak up the pressure, and Leicester can't do it. They're not very good at it.
No.
So they're like, it's hard if you're not drilled in it, to try and soak up pressure and then break forward again and then try and go again. So it's a culmination of things. But having said that, they do have, like, Maddison is in fantastic form again. You know, for a guy that I don't think scored or assisted before November.
Yeah, 6 goals this season.
And that's probably all come since Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, Vardy's out injured, but of course
he's got 9 goals this season.
Up front, but they've still got 2 centre forwards up front that we were linked with.
Yeah.
Patterson Daka and Kelechi Iheanacho.
And Lookman as well.
Lookman, phenomenal. He's again, like we said, each one we looked at had a good season back in the Premier League last year with Fulham. Leicester brought him in again. Is that a loan to buy? I can't remember if they bought him or it was a loan to buy. I know they brought him back in. They have players that can hurt you.
Yeah.
But they seem to have a discontent. I don't know. I'm not a Leicester fan, so I can't tell you where it's come from, what's happened. But I know if you go on Twitter, their fan base is very split down the middle between Rodgers in and Rodgers out at this point in time. There's some fans that are like, well, hold on, let's look back to less than 10 years ago when we were playing in the Championship or League One. And there's other fans that are saying, well, hang on a minute, Rodgers might have got us this far, but now we're starting to slip off and we need to freshen up. As I said, it's maybe not a good time to play. They've had injuries like us. They've had big injuries. Like I said, Fofana season. Johnny Evans is still a couple of months away. Vardy's a little way away. Bertrand, Castagne as well. So that they've got big defensive injuries. And it shows because they can see goals. Can't defend set pieces.
Yeah.
Cannot defend set pieces. I think they're probably one of the worst in the league at it. And Rodgers openly said it. He doesn't know how to fix it. Like he's like, we can't defend set pieces.
No, absolutely no. They definitely.
That's
can't.
what I've got. I'm run out now. I can't give you any more.
But they do have players. We as much as they're not performing in all cylinders this season, they've played 21 games. They've won 7. They've lost 9. They've scored 34 and conceded 39. So as much as they've brought in players like Daka, who we were strongly linked to, he played the last game. He substituted a lot. I think his I don't know how many goals he's actually got for the season so far, but I don't think it's. I don't even know if has he broke his deadlock in the Premier League. Actually, let me have a look here and see. He has. Yeah, he's got 4. He's got 4 in the Premier League this season. What do you rate him? I mean, what are the players you rate at Leicester, mate?
Look, I don't know about what his build-up play, but like Iheanacho, I'm sure he's got like a ridiculous record of like a goal or assist every 80-something minutes.
Yeah.
But Rodgers never plays him. Yeah, the Leicester fans are crying out like Rodgers. You can understand why, because Vardy got them a long way. You think where Vardy come from, and he was like one of those big fairy tale stories, especially surrounding the season they won the league. But Vardy's getting on a bit, and Nacho's been banging in goals. He's still done it in the African nations. Daka is someone that you would give time to. His first year in the Premier League. Not all players adapt straight away, but he's got pace and he knows how to finish. And it doesn't matter what sort of style or body shape, whatever you are. If you're a centre forward in the Premier League and you're quick and you know where the back of the net is, you're going to work out whether they need to change formation to make it work. Maybe put 2 up front, or maybe just bulk them up a bit. But those two, whether you play them together or separately, or bring one on for the other, they'll score goals. Maddison had God knows what was wrong with him, but he's come back to the forefront and looks.
Well, I think last season, though,
outside of Bowen, the best English attacker in the league at the moment.
Last season, really,
midfielder.
You can't help but think that it was actually players like Maddison were the ones that caused the problem and the demise of Leicester last season. Because I think, were they breaking the rules or something with COVID, and that really kind of, I think Brendan Rodgers left them out of the team, and then bang, they didn't hit a bit of form, and they were already having injury problems back then as well. So. But you can't deny that he is a top talent for Leicester City. Leicester have conceded at least 3 goals in each of the last 3 Premier League meetings versus West Ham. West Ham have scored in 90%. Are you ready for this one? In 90% of our Premier League games against Leicester, 26 from 29. Our highest ratio against an opponent we faced more than 10 times in the competition. West Ham have made fewer changes to our starting 11 than any other side in the Premier League this season, 28, and we've named an unchanged side on 8 occasions this term. And that's what makes this, what I'm about to say next, ridiculous, Matt. We've still never named a team right, considering we've had 8 unchanged players.
Yeah, he does make it's always the little nuances with Moyes. It's always like the one little 1 or 2 changes. He's never like,
yeah,
we know he has his core of like 14 players,
yeah,
15 players. It's just getting
yeah.
what's what.
Leicester City, Leicester manager Brendan Rodgers has lost each of his last 3 meetings with David Moyes in all competitions. And we all know about the form of Jared Bowen. We'll come on to him in a minute. The areas we really do need to watch, though, from Leicester, they've got pace in their team.
It's up front. It is like you just said. It is the no matter who plays, if they play a 4 with say a 4-4-2 wingers or a 4-2-3-1, it's pace. I'm just going through their team now. It really is. You know, I didn't even mention like Harvey Barnes.
Yeah,
he's getting himself back into form again. Like we said, Lookman, Maddison, even Perez to an extent. I know I said I don't think it's worth what they paid, but he still causes problems. And then you've got Daka and Iheanacho. The only shining light really for West Ham is that Jamie Vardy's not playing.
Yeah.
And like I said, then I haven't seen a table, but from when I was looking at Leicester, they do score goals. But the issue isn't that they score goals. The issue is that they can't keep them out the other end. Like you just said, we scored 3 goals the last 3 times we played it.
Yeah. Well, actually, to make matters even, let's actually go and see what happened the last time we played them. Nearly 6 months ago we played that, but what a day out that was. Obviously Antonio breaking the Premier League record that day as well. But we have 3 consecutive games scoring over 3 goals against Leicester City, and like you said, I remember a couple of seasons ago that we set up against them, Project Restart. We put 5 at the back. That was the kind of start of us playing with the 3 centre halves, including Creswell in the middle. And then this season we decided to play them with the 4-4-2 or the 4, not the 4-4-2, the 4-2-3-1, 0-100, all that sort of stuff, but the 4 at the back. And it seemed to work against them as well. Moyes versus Brendan Rodgers, though, it's an interesting battle, is it not?
But again, they're 2 that have gone at it for years. It could come down to who gets it tactically right on the day. Like I said, their thing is that they've got good, pacey players in attack. The issue is their defence.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've only got,
and
like got the problem that we sort of got. It's their defenders. We've got injuries in defence. Obviously, we're missing. We'll get into West. We'll pick our team in it, but Bonner we know is not playing this season, and Dawson's been pushing through the pain barrier apparently.
Yeah.
Leicester only got 3 centre backs themselves, and 2 of them are injured. Fofana and Evans. Dawson's old teammate from West Brom. They've only got 1 centre back, and he's not playing because he's just been shipping in goals left, right, and centre again. And I think he gave away, if I remember, Vestergaard's. Was it Sorensen? So I think he's out as well. So I think Sorensen's mistake gave the second goal away in the game at Upton Park, and he passed it back to Schmeichel and cut him short. It depends who sets up. Leicester, you're going to have to expect Leicester to come out.
we could be seeing this man recalled to the team. I mean, the reason why we're hearing rumours that he wants to leave at the end of the season, doesn't want to sign a contract extension, but we all know what you said earlier on and what he is capable of doing on his day. He's a fantastic footballer, but he's just been struggling to get into that team, and like you said, the fans aren't happy with it, are they?
Premier League fans can be very fickle. We will see it ourselves when Rice leaves. We will see what the fan base is like. It could be a 50-50 split of some people really annoyed and upset, some people understanding it. So and that is now where Tielemans is at. and I've already seen it, like even today on Twitter, I've seen some fans going mad that like I'll just get rid of him now, put him in the reserves. He doesn't want to play, doesn't want to be there. Other fans sitting there saying he won us an FA Cup and he wants to go to a bigger and better team. He has the ability to play for a bigger and better team, especially a team Leicester aren't going to finish in Europe this year. And I think as of the summer, he'll have a year left on his contract. So all of a sudden, all the big teams are circling around. The rumour is today. I think last summer when he had 2 years left, they quoted some of the big teams anywhere from the 60 to 80 million bracket. Guy of his quality with 2 years left on his contract, he's worth that.
Yeah.
In this summer, when he's got a year left and he said, I'm not signing a new one, all of a sudden 35 million looks like you'll get him. So it's the first game they've been back at the stadium since they got demolished by Forest. If that was away and then they went away to Liverpool, it could be a very hostile atmosphere. It may not be a nice game for Leicester tomorrow. If we get ahead early, if we do something that we never do, if we actually come out of the blocks early, if Moyes can get the team set up right, it could be a really difficult atmosphere for Rodgers. And I don't know if he's a manager that would deal with that sort of atmosphere from his own fans.
Yeah, that's fine. You're right, mate. And it's talking about, I think I've seen comments about saying how West Ham need to get, from the off and go at them. And there's an element, West Ham haven't been doing that as of late. It seems to be that we start off slow, no matter whatever game and whatever competition that we do. And sometimes it takes a rocket up the arse for West Ham to be able to play once we go 1-0 down. However, what we do have is a Leicester team that don't have the unity that we're used to seeing. A manager, the fans, the players, and that's where West Ham could really get at them. That could be their Achilles heel. That could be the thing that causes them problems as well. But as Crosshammer is saying here, I wouldn't write them off. They're going to go for it tomorrow, seeing as we already had a few over on them. It's going to be a tough game. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Mark Alexander's making a valid point here. He says that they're struggling at set pieces and we'll keep playing short corners. And that's the thing. I've noticed that we've been playing a lot of short corners. We'll come on to West Ham in a minute, but they are not great at defending set pieces. And, we are normally very good at set pieces, but haven't been as of late. We've not been maximizing that because of the playing the short corners. Paul Evans saying Madison is dirty and a diver. Liverpool said that they had turned their attention to Tielemans as Rice isn't going to be available, or it might have been a manure. I was sculpting half listening to the radio. Stato, we have pace. Yarmo, 88 minutes. John Murdoch saying first time at home.
He's not even available to play, is he?
Who?
Yarmo.
No, because he got sent off, didn't he? Yeah.
Did you? I know it's not relevant. Did you actually see it?
Yeah. Nobody knows why.
It's the most
so for anyone, for context, for people who don't know, Yarmolenko played the under 23 games yesterday and got sent off in the game, straight red card, and still to this moment, nobody really knows what happened.
It was a throw-in, wasn't it? It was a throw-in, and he's literally got his arms out and he's backed into the player, and Sayo just like bumped into him, and then everyone like ran off to play the carry on play, and they've just stopped and like. I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to try and say anything. I don't want to say anything that will question the integrity of a referee, but it was his best Mike Dean impression to get that card out.
Absolutely, mate. 100%. Howard Ailes is saying we will be playing on the counter. We play better on the counter. Masuaku hat-trick tomorrow. And that's the thing we normally do, Howard. However, I think that teams have clocked onto the fact that we play better on the counter. So actually give us most of the possession. And sometimes when we get most of the possession, that's when we look at, the biggest risk that we have. Leave Salo saying, hi everyone, I know we ain't been great of late, but we're still grinding the results out. Keep getting behind our lads and Moyes, only because we are massive. Come on, you Irons, let's get all 3 points. Well, it does bring us to the right time, mate. Let's go and talk about our beautiful club mate, West Ham. Mate, I mean, there really is only one place to start, and it's the elephant in the room. Kurt Zouma, you've not had a chance to really kind of voice your opinion. You don't have to if you don't want to. Myself, Stell, and Russ have all done kind of separate videos on the matter. However, what we do know is, and I will go over and show people what he said. Let's go and have a look and see what the gaffer said at his press conference. Right, so straight up there, he said he is available against Leicester, and I stand by the decision to play him. I don't think the club could take more action or any quicker. West Ham have fined him the maximum wages. We'll accept the actions terrible. We all accept the actions terrible and diabolical. He said he's very disappointed and incredibly remorseful. And sometimes in life you need forgiveness, and he's hoping of that. Many of us through our lives make mistakes like drink driving offences. Most people have to go to classes. RSPCA are going to provide him with classes, and we'll do everything we can to make sure Kurt is looking into it and getting better and understanding it. We're so disappointed, completely out of character from Kurt. He's a really good lad. We're going to get him some help and trying to give him as much as we can. He's treated the same as any other player. I've worked over 1,000 games and never treated anyone any different. Sometimes you have to treat young players different. It is if it is regarding disciplinary reasons, everybody is treated the same. I'd say right away is it we completely upset by it all. And there's nobody more disappointed than me or the club itself. We're really sorry we've upset West Ham supporters. For the West Ham supporters disappointed by it, I've got to say we're really disappointed by it as well. We're making sure animal charities will benefit from it. It's a terrible situation. Nobody's hiding it, but we're trying to make some good come from bad. I've never had one like this before. I hope we never get another incident like this, but this is part of the job. And that there is, we know that there is, and are disappointed with it and wish it was not in the news. We have really good side, and I'm sad the focus has been taken away from a relatively good season that I hope will get better. We mustn't forget all the good work the club have done in the last couple of years. He says, I understand the criticism because of how severe the video was. I understand why people would be disappointed by my and the club's decision to play him. But I stand by that, and I think it is going to make it stronger. The club has acted brilliantly in the difficult situation from the club. It's the sort of thing that pulls you together. We have a big bump now, but we need to get over it. And then his last message to the fans was, we're upset by it and disappointed. Can't say anymore. I'm someone who's a great lover of animals and have them. West Ham fans are disappointed, and nobody is more disappointed than me and the club. We're in a good position, so we do not want anything to distract than this and has. We're really sorry it's upset West Ham fans, and we want their forgiveness to forget in time. Matt, over to you, mate.
He's an idiot, wasn't he? Right? You can't do that. Like, you can't do what he did. However, the witch hunt since it's borderline embarrassing. Right? I've never seen, I genuinely mean this, especially in recent times, I've never seen the media going so hard on such an incident. They didn't go in this hard on Mason Greenwood. Like, I didn't see TalkSport or Sky Sports standing outside Man United's training ground, was it Carrington or whatever, waiting to interview players on what their thoughts are on Mason Greenwood. Like, I'm not being funny, he was an idiot, and look, RSPCA will probably prosecute it, he'll probably get banned from having animals, they'll take the animals away. They find that the club will find him 2 weeks' wages, which will go to animal charities. He'll do some classes, he'll have to do some charity work. But move on, like, just move on. It's done and dusted. You can't change what's going to happen, and people come out saying he should be sacked. And
the question to you and the question to the chat is: should Zuma have played against Watford? And if he hadn't have played against Watford, and West Ham had dealt with this 1 game suspension and everything else, would that have made the situation better? I'm asking that question to you, Matt, and to the chat.
I think he may serve a 1 game suspension. However, he's not been charged yet. People seem to forget 4 separate police districts, in whatever you want to call them, got involved in it, and they all turned around and said, we're not prosecuting him. The Met done it. I know, well, it might be 3. It might be the Met, Surrey, and Essex police all said they were going to investigate it and all dropped the case. Right? So either there's something there that we don't know about, or they just don't think it's worth their time. So you can't sit there and say, why has he not been banned yet, when he's not been charged with anything? He's not. At the moment, he's, by admission of his own guilt, put his hand up, said, I'm sorry, has paid. I don't know, some people said the fine's not enough, right? But the fine he's paid has been bigger then people have been paid on the fines people have paid out and clubs have paid out on racism charges, right? Literally, UEFA have handed out countries lesser fines from racism chants from crowds than Zuma paid, right? But the club can't fine him any more than that anyway. It's PFA, FA rules. You can the maximum fine club can fine someone is 2 weeks' wages. The club have fined that. Apparently, they rounded it up to 250 as well, and they're going to donate it to charity. There was a release on the club website. Was it yesterday or the day before, saying they're working with the West Ham communities group to work out what animal charities to give the money to. You know, RSPCA come out today and said, "Oh, we haven't agreed to give them any courses yet. We haven't received any money, been offered any money." Well, no, because how dodgy would that look? I'm not being funny. If they're the people that are leading this prosecution against them, which will, you know, and people said the fine's not big enough, right? This prosecution that they're leading, you can get three things are the main outcome that can come out of this prosecution for the RSPCA. He could potentially go to jail for 4 years, which won't happen. He can be banned from owning animals. That probably will happen. And he can have a £5,000 fine. So he's already paid, 25 times what that fine is that RSPCA could give him. But West Ham can't say to them now, "Are we going to give you the money?" before they've charged him? Because how corrupt does that look if they're accepting a donation from them while in the middle of doing the investigation? Once it's done, if he does get charged and he gets slapped down, then give him a 1-game ban and go, "Look, he's now been found guilty. Now he'll serve his ban." But at the moment, is the legal jurisdiction in England not innocent until proven guilty? Technically, he hasn't been found guilty yet.
Let me read some of the comments. Alfie's saying Zuma shouldn't have played against Watford, would have blown all over if he didn't, but he did. Now we move on and back him. There's a good article in The Guardian on that. Howard is saying it's been blown out of context. Is this Zuma's game playing for free? Black Country Hammer, Zuma got to play tomorrow. Should not have played last Tuesday. Bad decision by the board. Not a great PR. A fine is meaningless for a multi-millionaire. That's from Duzzy O'Dear. Hit the like button, of course. Serious attempt to derail our season from Paul Evans. Duzzy's saying papers can't talk about Greenwood until the trial begins. It's just cats aren't more important than people as simple as. Black Country Hammer saying that's right, Matt. George Sutherland said his punishment started the other night when he got booed every time he kicked the ball. I don't think that, I did hear boos, but I also heard zoos as well, and it's trying to differentiate the difference between the two. But there definitely was boos there. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. I think we've kind of said our piece on.
But look, I'll clarify. I know I went a bit of a rant there, but
go for it.
He was an idiot and he should be punished for it. As I was just going to finish that. I'm not to defend him, but it is turned into a witch hunt. I think, it was best summed up by Antonio in his little drive-by interview. Well said, look, he's apologised. It does sound remorseful. He is remorseful by all sounds of things. He's going to get punished. The money may not be relevant to a millionaire, but it's more, as I said, it's more than entire nations have paid for racism in European qualifiers. So where do you draw the line?
Bless me. Sorry. I get that. I get that 100%. Right, let's move on. Let's go and build our starting 11. I mean, David Moyes' press conference was asked about, I think I've seen about 14 questions. I think about 12 of them were all related to Zuma. We did get no more team news coming from him as well, which was probably expected. So if you are watching, though, name your starting 11 by putting it in the chat. We'll go through it as well. So if you can, try and put in your starting 11, but break it down as well. So would you play keepers? What keeper would you play? Strikers? What positions? All that sort of stuff. And we'll go through that just now. Right, so Matt, it's time for us to build our starting 11. So let me bring this onto the screen, put that there, and make this a tiny bit bigger as well. Okay, so last time out, we saw this is the team we put out against Watford. So we had Fabianski, Sufal, Dawson, Zuma, Creswell, Suchek, Rice, Bowen, Fornals, Benrahma, and Antonio. So let's get into our starting lineup. Fabianski, I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm not digging out Areola, but I thought Fabianski had a good game against Watford. What do you think?
Yeah, he didn't have much to do, but I think was it the second half he pulled out what looked like a really really good save against was it Cleverly?
Yeah.
Like he was on the edge of the box, he was going to stick it in the top corner, and that was the time in the game when I think that was only their real chance. That was their only real chance, I think, in the game, and it was a good save. He got good hands on it as well. A couple times this season he's parried stuff back out into the danger area, but it was a very good save. He pushed it, got it quite far away down to the corner flag. Wasn't really tested from that, but then again, he did what he had to do when he had to do it. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't want
yeah,
people to think I don't think we're in a situation where if he has a good game or a bad game, the next minute one of the keepers is going to get dropped. I think it's going to take quite a few drastic
it,
things to happen in order for Fabianski to be
he'd
removed from
have
number
to be
one.
like he'd have to be giving goals away
Yeah, I
for
agree.
4 or 5 games straight. And I don't mean conceding, I mean giving goals away.
Yeah,
He
completely.
Fabianski would have to hit Roberto form for like 5 games in a row for him to get dropped.
Right. The next position we should look at, or the next thing we should talk about is formation. Now, leaving the game on Tuesday night, I said to the lads I was with that if there was a game I could have seen changes made in terms of formation, it would be the Leicester game. However, I left before the Watford game. I think me and you all thought that maybe it wouldn't, that if there was ever a chance that Antonio wasn't going to play, it would have been that game, but Antonio did play. And I was always thinking about this formation changing to be three, the five at the back with three in the middle. I think a bit like what Steve is saying. He's not saying that actually. I thought he was saying that. Sorry. But I don't know. I've kind of gone back the way
I
as well. I think I'm going to go with a 4-4-2, 4. The usual four at the back. Yeah.
Yes, the issue is I don't think we now have players available to play the 5 at the back.
Right. Let's get into it then. We're looking for Ryan Fredericks as well. I mean, is there any point in us discussing this? It's a no-brainer, really. Sufal's going to be in there.
Yeah, I thought we had a solid game against Watford, to be fair.
Yeah. Is that pretty harsh on Ben Johnson? Because there's a lot of people in here saying Paul Chambers saying Johnson right back, Sufal out of form. Mixed people here. West Ham Irons 21's going for Sufal. Howard Ailes has gone for Johnson. People, Sufal,
It
Peach has gone for
depends
Sufal.
for me, and from what I think it would depend on what Moyes' mentality is going into the game.
Yeah.
If he does want to just sit there and soak up pressure and leave like 3 up front to hit on the counter, then you play Johnson.
Yeah.
If he wants to play our normal style of like sitting deep and counter attacking, you play Sufal.
Yeah.
I still think Johnson's got stuff to learn. I think Johnson's very sound defensively, but I think going forward, Sufal offers more.
Okay. Let's move into left back,
And
mate.
that's not knock against
Well,
Johnson.
let's not move into left back. Let's move into centre halves. The choices we've got here are Zuma, who we've been told is available to start for the game under David Moyes' instructions. Dawson, Diop, and who am I missing? That's it, isn't it?
Out of the first, yeah, you can say the kids, but out of the first
Yeah, the
team,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm hearing a lot of people. Alessi is performing week in and week out for the under-23s right now. I've always said all along that I think he should be our number 4 defender, being in around the squad, which he is. So it'd be interesting to see if he makes a step up, but he won't make this game. Of course, we do know that Dawson is working his way through the pain barrier as well. But I think we all know, especially after the words that David Moyes said, that these are going to be the 2 centre halves. Do you agree, mate?
Yeah. I think Dawson's proven to be like a modern day Ginge. I think he's an old centre back, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he said, "Yeah, I'm hurting, but you know what? I can play. Let me play."
Yeah.
And I think since that new sort of come out, people have given like a new sort of respect for Dawson.
Yep.
Because he may not have been playing the best, he may not be doing certain things, but he's been solid in the tackles, still chucking himself in, and he's doing it while he's got an undisclosed injury. So that'll put him in Moyes' standing like right at the top. You know, if he's thinking, God, Dawson's playing injured, but I can still rely on him.
Isn't it funny here? Sorry, I know we're talking about centre halves here, but the conflicting opinions in the chat is Sufal has proved he's only worth 4 to 5 million. He's been terrible, and other people are saying the complete opposite. It just shows you how everyone has got so many different forms of opinion, haven't they?
I think he did struggle when he come back from injury. However, I would also say that we're not playing the same way we played last year. Like, we don't seem to be crossing in the ball anywhere near as much, and that's why he got a lot of assists last year, because we were just getting down the wing and putting crosses in. Whereas it seems, like a bit like the Rice Soucek debate of who sits and who goes.
Yeah,
it seems to be a lot more this year that Bowen's come into his own, and Sufal seems quite content to just let Bowen go. Sufal's like, yeah, don't worry, I ain't gonna overlap now. I'll just sit back and you can go do it. Because Bowen's beating men on the wing and getting crosses in, or he's cutting inside and scoring.
Yeah.
So for me personally, if Sufal's sacrificing getting that bit extra forward to let Bowen just go do his thing, then I've got no issue with it.
Now, the comment that's up on the screen there, Hammerhead, saying, what about a back five with 3 centre halves and wing backs? This is something that I potentially had suggested, and this shows you the option we also have in the back there as well, if you bring Creswell into that position. However, that would mean potentially bringing the likes of Masuaku into the team. It doesn't mean it definitely would be him.
Is he available?
Is he available? That's the other problem as well. And if not, who would it be?
I know he was it the midweek game? He had to go for a scan, so a specialist for his knee or something.
Yeah. But let's
go. For me, if it's a knee injury, it wouldn't be like, that's not going to be like a quick.
Yeah.
He's not gone for a checkup, has he? Like,
no.
But that's why I said at the start, I don't think we've got the players to play it right now. The back three, is that as a back three, I'd have no problem with. But
yeah,
that is when you need like Masuaku, because you need a left footer on if you're going to play wing back, you need natural footers. Johnson would probably struggle unless you ain't got the pace. Yeah, back four.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. There's our back four for now. Let's go straight in with the killer and put Soucek and Rice in their position. Did you watch the Declan Rice interview with Gary Neville on Sky Sports?
I haven't seen it yet. No, I do actually need to see it at some point.
I'll tell you what, mate. Massive credit where credit's due to Declan Rice. Not a single thing he said did I disagree with. And fair play. What I found really interesting was when he spoke about the bad eggs that were in the team when West Ham were having problems, and the egos that were in the team that Moyes got rid of, without naming names. But you could all.
I did see that quote, and I thought it was quite interesting.
Yeah.
He said that we had some big like he said big egos, and they were questioning why they were in relegation battles and they shouldn't be able to do this.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm not being funny. What Moyes was barely had his feet in the door, and Anderson was gone. Within a year, within 2 windows, Anderson and Howell were both gone. But it was literally the first offer that come in. So what you assuming that would be 2 of the names he was talking about? I said, Deck was very polite and professional and was like, there's no need to name names, no need to get petty and schoolyard calling names about it. But I mean, who else has really gone since? I know Roberto did, but that was just obvious.
Yeah,
the guy just.
We'll save that chat for another day. Let's get right back into this team again. We've got a big decision here. Will he continue to play Antonio against the likes of Leicester, or will it be Bowen up top? What do you think?
The way Leicester defend, I think you'd have to play Antonio.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I completely agree with you.
Just go back to the last game. Like, he was pinning them, turning them, running them.
Yeah.
Whether they have Sorensen and Vestergaard in the defence, or whether they play Ndidi and Amate.
Yeah.
Then not many defenders enjoy playing against Antonio.
Yep, absolutely, mate. Which means Bowen goes in in the right-hand side. Now, again, the same debate we had pretty much last week. We've got 2 positions left, and I believe we have 4 players that can potentially take the one of or 2 of these positions. Now, in the week, Vlasic was mentioned quite a lot from David Moyes, talking about how he wants to try and figure out how we can get him into this team and play a bit more game time. Ben Rama played against Watford, was substituted for Fornals. Lanzini. What did you make of Ben Rama's performance against Watford?
I actually felt a bit sorry for him because like he didn't do much. So in that sense, he probably should have been subbed. However, that he was never getting the ball. The ball was never coming over to him. But also, he was out on the wing. Right? He was out on the wing, and then Moyes brought on Manu and then put Pablo out to the wing. He brought on Lanzini, and then went, all right, yeah, you can play in the middle, and Fornals will go out on the wing. But they didn't, like, normally in the game, you'll notice that Fornals and Benrahma will swap, but they didn't. Benrahma spent 50, 60 minutes sitting out on the wing, getting no touches of the ball, no service. Moyes was like, oh, right, we're not getting on the ball enough. Let's get Lanzini on. Oh, but no, Lanzini, you're going to play number 10, and then Fornals is going to go out on the wing. Which changed the game. He should have come off, but I just felt sorry for him that why
Right,
didn't
but
they
this
give him
makes
like
this
a 10-minute spell in the middle?
this makes it for interesting reading then, because in the middle of the park, what you've actually got is a player who made such a difference by coming on, but sometimes by starting, can blow hot and cold by starting in Lanzini. So if you're talking about in the whole, I mean, you've really got 3 players here that could really play in that position. I know Vlasic could, but we haven't seen him there at all. Who are you going with, or who do you think Moyes will go with against Leicester tomorrow?
I've got Lanzini.
I think I agree with you as well. Which
I
leaves one
think
more
I
position
think
then.
he would have started against Watford, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay, so who goes in at
I
left
think
then?
he Fornals.
Harsh on Benny,
I'm
everyone in the chat?
well, the thing is, I don't think he would have started. I think, he just come back from the African nations. We'd mentioned, hadn't we, that Lanzini had a knock and a late fitness test. Obviously, at the time, he was only deemed fit enough to come off the bench. However, he made a massive impact in the middle of the park. Like we didn't have any possession. We couldn't hold on to the ball until we came on. And I think, what we've said sometimes, that, sometimes there's a position up for grabs and there'll be 2 people fighting over it and one person will do enough. And I think if you're talking solely on the game against Watford and who had the better impact, I mean, Lanzini played half the amount of time and probably had double the impact that Benrahma had. Again, I think Benrahma may have, if he'd have had a stint in the middle, may have done more, but he didn't. And we said on here before that, they're doing the job between them. So Benrahma started, couldn't get anything going in that game, wasn't meant to be, weren't his day, couldn't get anything going. Lanzini come on, plays the same position but a different style of player, and he made us start ticking, and we won. So is it easier the right to play? And then 60 minutes in, if it's not working out, we need a different style of play. Benrahma can come back in again.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it shows you I'm actually building up 3 potential teams that you could see, because I think there could be we've not nailed on a teammate yet at all since we've done these previews, and there are several different options that he could look at. Let me just bring these up for you just now, and I'll go through the comments in a second. Where we are there. There's one option. You've got Benny through the middle for Fornals out in the left, bringing Lanzini on as an impact sub. You've got Lanzini in the hole with Fornals playing out on the left as well. And we do know that they do like to play with each other. However, you've got this option as well where you can play Benny out in the left and Lanzini in the middle. But would that be harsh on Fornals?
Technically, it'd be harsh on whoever you drop, but unfortunately, none of those 3 are in the form that Bowen's in.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, Bowen is on Rice levels of you can't drop him.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the guy literally plays like every game. We sit there and say, well, Antonio can't play that because he played last week and he can't play 2 games in a week. We can't risk this. We can't do that. And you've got Bowen on the right hand wing who just runs up and down the pitch end to end non-stop for 95 minutes, and then we'll play 3 days later and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
And neither the other 3, neither Fornals, Lanzini, or Benrahma are in Bowen's form. So it's a fight out between the 2 of them, between 3 of them for the 2 spots.
Well, let me read some of the comments in the
I wouldn't
chat.
argue that any of them. Like, whichever 2 get picked, you'll be happy with their play.
I mean, let's read the chat because the chat is so conflicted as well. So you've got Adam Cook saying Fornals plays better if him and Lanzini can switch, and then they can find space each and make that killer pass. Dizzy O'Dear saying Lanzini and one other. Steve saying Benny frustrates the crap out of me. Mandy saying Lanzini and Pablo with Rice and Suchik gives us more balance and makes us stronger defensively, and both can score. Toby Sampson, hello, good to see you, my man. Bowen, Benny, Lanzini, Fornals, and Vlasic's team of bitches. Mandy G saying Benny is better from the bench right now. Hammers, Mikey saying swap Fornals and Lanzini, and it's bang on. Benny on the left. Mark Thomas is saying Benny is knackered. Paul Evans is saying Antonio will be well up for this one. Lanzini is well on form. Benny is not. Navid is saying nobody talking about Benrahma. You guys believe me sometimes. You see tomorrow. Happy Amaret saying I am Lanzini's biggest, most devoted fan. Yet he shouldn't start. Benny starts, gets confidence. Lanzini subbed on and sorts shit out as always. Adam Cook, Benny is so frustrating for me. It's good game or bad game, not consistent enough for me. And Neil saying Fornals on the left, scored a cracking goal from there a couple of seasons ago. Riola, Dawson, Zuma, Crezi, Fredericks, Rice, Lanzini, Suchek, Johnson, Bowen, Antonio. 3-5-2. My squad need pace on the outside. I can see that. I mean, that does make sense. It can add up to it, and it does give us pace as well, and can deal with them on the counter. Let me just see here. If Robert Singleton saying 4-3-3 for me, that's how it will end up with Lanzini starting. Alfie saying Benny 8 goals, 6 assists this season. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely, Alfie. I can give him credit where credit's due, but sometimes he's an example of a player that stats don't mean that he has performed fantastically in every game, because he does blow hot and cold right now. He absolutely does, and I don't want him to. Hammers Mikey Fornals needs to start with Benny all day long. We want Prem level, not a championship level player. Bandy G saying both Pablo and Lanzini can score, strengthen us defensively, and put them alongside Rice and Suchek. Fornals must play, or my dolly is going out the pram. Lanzini doesn't need to start. He's great when he comes in the second half and makes a difference. Mark Alexander, I wouldn't start Benny, but don't have much choice in the left. Repeating myself, but sell him in the summer and get a proven winger. Mandy G is saying Moyes will start with Benny. No doubt. There you go. So if you are watching as well, go and put your predictions in the chat for the game tomorrow. What do you think the score will be? Go on then, Matt. What do you think the prediction will be for tomorrow as West Ham travel to King Power Stadium to place Leicester? Kickoff is what time? Let me just double check and see what time the kickoff is. I think it's 4:30. I think it's 4. Yeah, 4:30. We will be coming to you with a Matchday live. Matt, you're around, aren't you?
Yep.
Yep. Myself, Matt, Russ. I think we're going to be on it. So keep an eye on the Matchday live tomorrow. Hit the bell notification as well. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification. That will notify you when our show does go live. But Matt, what's your predictions, mate?
4-3.
Wow, he's gone big. He's going
4-3.
big. Go big or go home, mate. Go big or go home. 4-3.
But both teams lacking confidence. Both teams look a bit at the back. So
right, this is where I'm at.
Good going forward.
This is where I'm at. We've bounced back after this little break that we've had, and we've won 2 games on the trot. One in the FA Cup against Kidderminster, and it was like a shaking the cobwebs off. We came up against Watford, and I think we would have gone into that game reasonably confident, but something off the field derailed that, and that game just really was flat, and it was like a shaky performance again. But we got the result over the line. Now, what we need to hope for is that the team have bonded and pulled in together and got some form of unity, and that we can turn up on our day and nullify any threat that Leicester have got and take advantage of the problems that Leicester are facing currently, because they are facing problems in their team. For me, it's about getting at them quick, because they don't like to go down and don't like to concede early doors. And it's about not taking short corners and putting pressure on them when we do have a set piece, because they are conceding a lot of goals from set pieces. So on that, I'm going to go with a 3-1 West Ham victory.
I thought you were going to say 0-0 then.
Let me go in the chat and see what everyone else is saying. Chris Biggs, Montana 3-1 West Ham. Leicester are a shambles. Mark Thomas is saying 2-0. Dazzy O'Dear saying 1-1. Steve Bell saying 2-1. Happy saying Benny is awesome, just younger than what we're used to. I've got faith in him. Toby Sampson saying 2-1 West Ham. Yarmolenko 92nd minute winner if he's not banned. Howard Ailes 4-1 to West Ham. Chris Lockwood saying 6-0. Lee Vasallo saying 2-1 West Ham. Not going to be easy though. Come on, your hands. London is claret and blue. David Reed is saying 2-1 West Ham. WH58 is saying a Desmond. I wouldn't be gutted if we sold Benny, but I highly doubt we'll make profit on him. Toby Sampson. We don't make profit on any players, Toby, though, to be fair. Black Country Hammer is saying 3-1 West Ham. Paul Chambers saying if we build our build-up play is quicker, it would suit Benny. We're too slow for counter-attacking team at the moment. West Ham 2-1. Vinay is saying 3-2 West Ham. Anil saying 3-1 West Ham. Mark Alexander saying a Desmond 2 each. Adam Cook is saying 3-1. Still a tough game. Happy saying 2-1 or 1-0 to us. Normally I can choose, but this time I just can't. Either way, Lanzini goal. Got so many people here as well. 0-0 from Mandy G. We need another clean sheet. Losing to Forest the way they did, they'll come out fast. 15 minutes onwards, they'll take slow control. 2-1, Rice to score. Bed Sit Radio is saying a Desmond as well. So Ray Stroud is saying 3-2 West Ham. Matt, that brings an end to our Matchday Live, mate. Who is the one player you fear the most from Leicester?
Current form, got to be Maddison.
Yep,
but
completely agree
he
with you,
seems
mate.
It seems to be the guy doing stuff for them. So we want to win tomorrow. We need to keep him quiet, keep him frustrated,
Absolutely.
keep him out of the game as much as possible.
Yep.
Get Rice, just sit on him.
Yep, you're right, mate. 100%. Completely agree with you. And who's the player they should fear the most?
I said the same last week. I'll stick with it again now. When it's Bowen, most informed. I think he's like most informed English player this season. I think he's scored more goals and assists than. Well, I think he's got the most goals and assists of any English player.
Goals and assists by English players in Europe's top 5 leagues this season with 14. This was his game by numbers against Watford. 100% shooting accuracy, 60 touches, 5 aerial duels, 1 and 2 dribbles completed. There's more there at the bottom. You can read that and have a look at that as well. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Any last words, Matt?
Safe travels anyone heading up there tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Horrible time. Like it really is. Like 4:30 on a Sunday. I suppose at least it's not 8 o'clock on a Sunday, but yeah, 3-4 hour drive. So if we get back late at night, ready for work Monday morning. So safe travels.
Yeah.
Hopefully the boys bring the points back with them.
Exactly. And if you're new around here, make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell notification beside that. That will notify you when we do have a show going live. Tomorrow we will be coming to you with a Matchday Live. I don't know the time yet, but hopefully we'll bring you some longer content than we normally do on the Matchday Live. So make sure you do join us for that in and around 3:30-ish. Maybe. We do have a channel membership program as well. You can click on that and have a look and see if you're interested in joining our membership program. And yeah, thanks to all our sponsors, all our members. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, and we'll see you tomorrow. From Matt and Anton, come on, you Irons.